Hi, my name is Shane. My pronouns are she and her. This is our first of two sessions of Brandon Leon Gambetta's Pasione della Pasiones. This is being run on the Gauntlet calendar, an indie role-playing game community, I guess, that runs around 100 or more sessions a month that are all free and anyone can sign up for. If you are interested in more information about the Gauntlet or to get involved or to sign up for a game, check out gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll also put that in the notes under the YouTube video. We also, if you're watching this in February, have the Gauntlet Community Open Gaming Weekend coming up at the end of the month, where there are a whole bunch of games that you can still sign up for, all one-shots or two-shots, where you can check out the Gauntlet style. I know there are a lot of amazing games with vacancies still in them, spots still available. I know that because all of my games have vacancies still available, so come sign up and play with me. So I'll get the players to introduce yourselves now. I'll go around the order that I can see you on my screen. If you could just tell us your name, your pronouns, anything that you want to tell us about yourself, including where people can find you online. And I'd also love to hear just sort of like how much you know about or have played both Pasiones and Delta Green. So Abe Jr., can I start with you?
Yes, you may. Sorry, my muting was not unmuting. I'm Abe, he, him pronouns. I've been on Gauntlet for a little over a year, I think now. Let's see. My Instagram is Abe Lincoln Jr. That's JR. Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. I have played Pasiones a lot. It's probably my favorite game out of all the games I've played in the past year or two. And I just bought Delta Green. Never played it, but I am an old-timey first edition Call of Cthulhu guy. So I'm familiar with the whole deal.
Great. Kyle?
I'm Kyle. They played a fair number of sessions of Passions. Big fan. I've never played Delta Green. I did do I played in a Delta Green scenario that was played with Cthulhu Dark, I think was the system. But
It's great that you're just touring the different systems that you can play Delta Green with without actually. This is similar to me, without actually trying to play the rules of Delta Green.
Yeah.
Cool. And Sabine?
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I've played Pasión de las Pasiones a bit with Kyle over there, and I didn't play Delta Green per se, but I played the Cthulhu Dark hack that Alan did, Night's Dark Operators or something with Will, so I feel I'm reasonably well educated on the subject.
Okay. And Will?
Hi, I'm Will, pronouns he, him, and I have played a bit of Delta Green. I've played Cthulhu Delta Green with Shane recently. I've played a lot of Alan's hacker thing, which would be perfect for a World War II era Delta Green campaign, and I've played actual Delta Green rarely here, and I've played Passions with Abe in a series set on the moon. So, that was fun. I'd say the major difference between Delta Green and Alan's one is that Delta Green is very much more like there are no happy pulp endings. You're not going to win the war.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we'll find a happy ending for our little soap opera here. I'm just going to go through a little CATS procedure to kind of do some introduction and set some expectations around the game. So CATS standing for concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. Just stop me if you've got any questions. So the concept is obviously that we're going to use the rules from Pasiones, a game about telenovelas, to play an adventure from Delta Green, a game about unstoppable, monstrous cosmic horror. I am interested to see how well that combination works. I think it will gel pretty well, but obviously there may be some kind of rough edges. That's something that we can talk about as we go. The concept in terms of the story, or the meta story, I guess, is that your characters are part of a telenovela called The Night Floors that has been running in pretty typical telenovela fashion for a long time, for years. But recently the ratings have been steadily declining, and in a last desperate attempt to save the show, the network has had the main characters recruited by a paranormal conspiracy called Delta Green, and you will now be sent on missions to fight the supernatural. And I guess your characters presumably sort of accept that, just another weird twist in their lives, but have no real relevant experience, just a lot of kind of soapy melodrama to bring to the mission. I'm going to have 2 3-hour sessions. Today, obviously, we'll make characters, go over the rules a little maybe, and just start playing. I think we'll be able to tell a pretty satisfying story with an ending over those 2 sessions, but also definitely possible that we'll just kind of run into a horrifying cliffhanger and never resolve anything. I guess we'll see. I like to take a short break about on the hour, and obviously you're welcome to take extra breaks as needed. It sounds like people are pretty kind of familiar with the kind of game it is, but I just wanted to flag something because one of my players in my home group got super annoyed about this when I ran the Night Floors or tried to run it. It's like Delta Green and the scenario are investigative horror. It's about investigation, but it's not the sort of investigation where you wrap up the mystery and find out what happened necessarily. It's very much more that you investigate, realize that things are completely incomprehensible, and hope that you survive. So yeah, just don't think that there's necessarily going to be a conclusion to the mystery in a traditional sense. Tone-wise, it's a telenovela of surreal cosmic horror. I think within that, the tone is probably going to be relatively serious, but also quite soapy. I guess what I'm really saying is I don't quite know what the tone will be. I'll try and keep those things in balance, but one thing that would be useful as feedback from you is if you feel like you're not getting enough of one or the other of those things, like you want more horror, you want more soap, like just let me know. That's really useful feedback. Subject matter. It is a horror adventure. There's that kind of breaking down of identity and reality that you associate with the genre. One of the handouts that you might get has some pretty heavy swearing in it. And some specific subject matter that I wanted to point out is that there are references to the murder of children, to a kind of anti-Southern European racism, and some pornographic imagery. None of those things are sort of central. They're not very explicitly described, but they are things that may come up in the game. So we'll do lines and veils in just a minute. And if any of those things are lines or veils for you, just let me know. That's totally fine. So with that, I guess we'll just go to filling out the lines and veils. Would be great for me. So if you've got the character keeper, there's a lines and veils tab down the bottom. I can see that someone has started filling that out already. That's great. So just take a couple of minutes for you to add anything that you need. I assume you're all familiar with lines and veils. If anyone isn't, just let me know. And I'll get you just to pop an OK in the chat when you're ready. Okay, great. So I'm just going to read out the lines and veils that we've agreed on. So we've got lines on sexual assault, slavery, suicide, sorry, I'm having a little trouble reading across. Homophobia, cannibalism. I'm going to add transphobia to that list. And we have veils on racism, sexual content. Yeah, those seem like good sets to me. That's absolutely workable. With the lines and veils, like obviously I'm going to try to make sure that none of that comes up in the game. I'm not always totally remembering everything that's on the lines and veils list, so I really encourage you, if you see that something, like we seem to be leading in a direction that might head towards something that we have agreed to limit in the game, please do just let me know that, and let's all take some collective responsibility about safety in the game, that would be really helpful. While we're on safety tools, we're also going to be using the X card. So if there's anything that comes up that you're not comfortable with, not fun, just say X card, type an X in the chat, make a visual X with your hands. Just to let you know, I generally won't be watching the video or the stream while I'm running a game. So if anyone does make those visual X's, I'd appreciate it if another player could verbalize that for me and just let me know. We also have the open door policy. So, of course, if you're not having a good time or you need a break or you need to leave, whatever, you're welcome to just leave. That's totally fine. And the game also runs under the Gauntlet Community Code of Conduct. I think that's all that I had to say by way of introduction. Are there any questions about any of that just before we go into making characters? All right. I think that everything that you need to make characters is right there on the character keeper. I guess the first thing that we need to do is just figure out who wants which playbook. Does anyone have does anyone already know which playbook they want to play?
I always wind up playing El Caballero. I would not like to play that tonight in this session. I have no preference otherwise.
Cool.
I thought about maybe if nobody else was really invested in a jefe, I would like to do that.
Great.
Because I have an idea about a guy who has been on the telenovela for 15 seasons.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think you should take El Jefe.
I was thinking about La Empleada.
Great.
What would you like out of what's left, Abe?
Does anyone want a twin? That might be interesting.
I would be up for playing a twin, 100%. So I'm going to not take El Caballero because then you'll be basically playing El Caballero again, but through a different lens. So that leaves La Donna and La Belleza, right, out of the ones left over.
Well, you could be a Caballero. I can be just whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's,
you could totally
be twin or evil twin.
You could totally be my twin. I mean, I think Anselmo is basically a triplet at this point, but
I'm just wondering, with an El Jefe and a La Donna, they're quite similar in positioning, right? Like they're both using other people a lot of the time. I am going to go with Caballero because I wanted to play Caballero, to be honest, and that means that Abe is now one step removed from Caballero, but still tied in very tightly with it.
Does that make me evil? As long as I can be evil Caballero, I'm okay with that.
Hey, who knows which one's the evil one, right?
Exactly.
I need to restrain myself from saying things that could be spoilers in this adventure as well.
So I'll just take some time to figure out what moves you want to pick and stuff like that.
I think I am all done with my character.
Cool. Are other people still going, or how are we doing?
I found a picture. I'm good.
Right.
I've got to pick my suitors, but other than that, I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do some character intros, and then we can pick the suitors and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess we'll just go left to right across the character keeper, and I'll get you to introduce your character. Yeah, maybe we'll just go across first. Introduce your character, tell us a bit about them, and then we can do the kind of relationship questions and stuff like that once we know who everyone is. So, Will, do you want to? Oh wait, sorry, Abe is first. Do you want to lead off?
It's already starting. The whole twin thing. Are you Bobby Chambers?
Yeah, Bobby Chambers, Roberta Chambers, right? Or
all right,
whatever,
cool.
But Bobby Chambers. There's an illusion in that.
Well, I'm going to have to come up with. Actually, can I go after? Go after Will.
Yeah. All right. Let's go right to left then. So Bobby Chambers.
Well, I was imagining that Bobby Chambers is the surprise twin character that was, that was part of this mysterious government agency brought in for this season.
Interesting.
Like to spice
Yeah.
things up. And had been referred to as a sister through seasons and seasons of the telenovela previously, right? But it's this season that you see Bobby Chambers, FBI agent, in the show.
The reference that comes to mind immediately is Poochie from The Simpsons. Is that?
Yeah, is that kind of insertion? Yeah, entirely, like completely like arbitrary, and just suddenly, you have a twin sister just suddenly, and it's never really been mentioned before.
So I've been on the show already. I'm like this. I'm like the star of the show, and then Bobby shows up. And
yeah, you're definitely part of the cast of Night Floors up until this season, and I'm just suddenly like,
okay.
as part of this whole season shift, I'm also there as well, right? And I'm Bobby Chambers, and like we have all of these conversations as though I've been a character before. But it's like just that kind of that clumsy insert of a character who makes no sense in a long-running soap opera. It's like, why weren't you at the funeral of our mother and things in previous?
You go by Bobby, not Roberta, right?
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to tell us a bit about your moves, or like what the?
Yeah. So I am the caballero, the gentleman. My meltdown is all about the line between going too far in the name of what's right, and my moves are take a stand when you step in to defend someone, and size up when I try and spot something out of place. So, probably the ones that fit most for the conceit of an actual Delta Green operation, right? But we'll see. I don't think they'll be that useful.
I'm not really clear if any of the moves in this game will be useful to anyone at any point, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Cool. Carl, do you want to introduce Margarita?
Sure. Yeah, I'm playing Margarita. I'm assuming she works for one of the other characters or something, or maybe she just happened to be nearby when whatever it was forced them all to join this Delta Green organization, and she just kind of got caught up in the tide.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of moves does she have?
Well, I've got two suitors who are actively courting me, and they are ideally other player characters, so we'll have to decide that. And I've got you, Brute, so I'm a little bit better at lashing out with words or violence at one of my lovers. And I have confession, so when I tell someone of my wrongdoings, I get to roll with questions, and I can clear conditions on successes.
Cool. Sounds great. Sabine, do you want to introduce Anselmo?
Yeah, sure. Anselmo de la Vega, when this show started out 15 seasons ago, he was the star, unquestionably. And but you had to make things interesting, right? And so he's been through a lot. A dead wife, a resurrected wife, a zombie wife, for when we tried to jump onto the zombie trail. He's had multiple twin people, or a clone, actually. Yeah, he's been through a lot. He's responded to all of this with bluster and steadfast conviction that he is right. He is El Jefe, so he is a sort of, I think he has to have some sort of business. He has this, his 4 thugs. He used to have 5, and one of them became a major player in season 13, turned out to be his bastard son. Don't ask me. It was a thing. So it doesn't matter. I think he is actually, he sells. Oh yeah, he has a vineyard somewhere. That was the first seasons we were always at the vineyard. It was a lot of vine intrigue, but that ran dry after a while, right? So he is, ostensibly, he is a vineyard owner, and he deals in wine business, and that's why he has all these thugs running around. Weirdly enough, nobody's ever connected him really to a crime, so who knows?
Great. And do you want to tell us about his moves?
Yeah, I think I have the wrong.
the
I
thug
think I
thing.
have the wrong meltdown
Oh.
because it's the same as the empleadas, and that does
Oh,
not make a lot of sense. Yes,
interesting.
I said I have my 4 thugs: Cataldo, Ivaldo, Romualdo,
You're right.
and Mia, and I have bitter rage. Because after a while, that just becomes second nature.
Yeah. All right. I will try and find the correct text for your meltdown while we're playing the.
I'll find. I can find it myself. I have the.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. And Abe.
Okay. All right, cool. Just want to make sure I wasn't muted. So my character's name is Roberta Chambers. Uninventive parents, so to speak. Let's see. My moves are story spinner, and that wasn't me. I'm looking forward to being able to mark a condition to switch who was in a scene. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, maybe we'll do the kind of relationship type stuff now that we know who everyone is. So you'll see in your column there are 2 kind of relationship questions where there's a gap to fill in, a name of one of the other characters. For this session, one of the options that I want to give you is that the adventure that we're having is going to be about trying to find out what happened to a woman named Abigail Rodriguez. She used to be a cast member of the show. She was written out a couple of years ago when she moved to New York to pursue an artistic career. So if it feels good for you, you're welcome to fill in Abigail's name in one of those relationship questions. It probably won't be so directly, it's not really going to be so gamey, like it's not going to come up a lot in the story because, you're going to spend your time looking for her. You're not really going to interact with her so much. But if that sounds fun to you and helps with your motivation, it's open to you. You're very welcome to do that. Abe, we'll go maybe left to right again. So I guess your first one is clear.
Yes, Bobby.
Yep. What's your second one?
I'm going to say probably because they've been on the show longest, Anselmo would probably make sense. Are you cool with that, Sabine?
Unmute. Thank you. Sorry, I was fighting with my computer, and I was also copy editing. Remind me what your second question is. Met you before they met your twin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That seems reasonable. I've seen enough twins in my life. Thank you.
Right. Cool. And Sabine, do you want to do your 2 questions?
Yeah. Let me. Blank has been a thorn in your side and a constant irritation. And I feel that has to be kind of Roberta because we haven't seen Bobby that much on the show. Or maybe it was Abigail. No. I mean, I don't know. I'm undecided. Sorry. I think I will give this to Abigail just so I can't complain about her.
Right.
Why am I doing this even?
Yeah.
And the other one, Margarita, is an object of beauty you have sworn intention to possess.
Wow.
I'm that guy.
Cool.
Apparently. For this season, at least.
All right. Margarita, what about you?
I think Anselmo holds control over my well-being as someone who has influence over my employer. I think he is my employer, so...
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
In a very non-specific job role, I'm imagining, right? It's just always whatever it is that you're doing, it's like you work for me, and that's like you're filing papers, you're delivering things, you're doing any kind of work that it could possibly be in the show.
Yeah.
You can get me a coffee that does not have a ridiculous name, but is very tasty and has also vanilla in it.
And I think Roberta was the first person who was nice to me, despite my humble beginnings.
Sounds good.
Cool. Bobby Chambers. I don't know how these are going to work if you're new to the cast, but let's have a look.
Well, no, but I think like the conceit of the new to the cast is that the writing never really refers to the fact that she's new to the cast. You know, it's as though like we've all had an existing relationship before.
Mhm.
You know, like through Bobby kind of thing. Like, oh, you know, those two sisters, always like that kind of thing.
Mhm.
I think that that Anselmo knew me when I used to get into trouble and has seen my hard side.
Mhm.
And I think that Margarita is the person I go to when I'm stuck and has seen my soft side.
Cool. And I might just get everyone to pick one of the last time on kind of things, just to give us a little material to work with. Although that's probably not really going to come up so much in the games that we're playing. We'll go right to left again. So, Bobby.
Could I just because a lot of the Caballeros ones are quite on Delta Green brand, you know? So I just
Sure.
want to think.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go left to right again then. We'll start with Roberta. What were you doing last time?
I am looking at it right now. I think I got into my twins' home and left something behind.
Do you know what it was? Or do you want to just take that as something you might define during play?
Yeah, I think I might define that during play because it might be like a good reveal or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Sabine, Anselmo?
Yeah, I have found one, and it is you revealed that you know a secret truth hidden from someone, and what you will see is that Anselmo's turned to Bobby and says, "Yes, but the FBI does not know everything about this building."
Ah, interesting. Margarita.
Last time on, I think I told a dear friend a secret that should have stayed silent. I think I told Bobby that I had seen some of these like eldritch runes and stuff before in like
right.
near my like the small town where I grew up.
Oh, interesting. And do you want to pick your suit? Or do you want to do your suitors now as well?
Shall I just do my last time on and then do the suitors?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to finish that bit off,
Yeah.
completely. Sorry. I uncovered a letter that ties me deeply to someone. A letter from Abigail Williams.
So it's going to be Abigail Rodriguez in this.
Abigail Rodriguez, yes. It's Abigail Rodriguez, and I think what the letter is it, as you see it, and it has Abigail's like signature on the bottom of it, right? And it just says to Miss Chambers on it, and you open it up, and it is a very like really detailed pencil drawing of Bobby or of Roberta. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But like with the eyes scratched out.
Right. Incredible. Okay, and Kyle, what are you thinking in terms of your suitors for Margarita?
First thought is, would it be fun if it was Roberta and Bobby?
That would be great.
That was my first thought as well. And also it works well because it means that everyone in the game is like into you.
Oh yeah.
What an unusual position for an empleada to find herself.
Cool. So I think that's all the character creation stuff. Is there anything that we've missed or that anyone wants to add? All right. So I just wanted to like mention something quickly about the rules. So I think there are definitely going to be points where the rules are kind of in tension with the scenario, especially the kind of play to find out ethos of PBTA games versus the exhaustive list of everything that is happening or could happen that is written into the scenario of the Night Floors. I think we can like work with that and it'll be fine, but it may be a little awkward and may take me a minute to catch up sometimes. the other thing is, like, none of the moves really work, I think, for like actually finding clues or investigating. There's a spot something out of place clue, but it is not really what we want. So my intention is just to go with a kind of like, Gumshoe or Cthulhu Dark type approach of you look, you find the clue. We're not worried about rolling to that for that, or stalling the game to figure out whether you find the clue or not.
So is it like you start a scene and you walk in and there's a box with clues in it, that kind of thing? It'll set the stage kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. If we're going to start out in Abigail's apartment, there'll be some things that are that are kind of obviously clues that have massive, like, this is a clue flags hanging off them, and you tell me what you do. I'm not going to make you make the search roll or anything like that. And kind of the same, if you talk to someone who knows something, we'll just role play that conversation. I'll give you the information that you need. If it turns out that's not working well, we can kind of revisit it for the next session. All right, I think we're ready to start. So the place that we're going to start is the apartment of Abigail Rodriguez, who is currently missing. All of you know her from when she was on the show a few years back. You were briefed about this situation by Agent Marcus in Washington Square Park. He has brought you on as FBI advisors. You've been given credentials. That's kind of your cover for why you're investigating. The reason that Delta Green has gotten involved is that after Abigail disappeared, the police found some weird stuff in her apartment, and just kind of didn't really go anywhere with it because they were just the cops. But eventually her credit card was used across state lines. That's turned out to be a dead end investigation-wise, but it meant the FBI got involved, and a kind of Delta Green friendly in the FBI recognized an occult symbol in the weird stuff in her apartment. And that is how you have ended up here. So you've got those FBI credentials, you've got a Polaroid of Abigail, and you've got a set of apartment keys. I think that's about all. The Agent Marcus will tell you there was no previous history of hoarding, so the condition of her apartment seems, strange and unusual. And that's pretty much the only information that he would have given you before you got here. If there's any, research that you wanted your characters to have done before they arrived, we can just sort of build that in any time. But you found yourself in her apartment, and you understand immediately what they meant by some weird stuff there. The carpet's all been torn up, and there's just battered lino. There's no furniture or appliances on the floor, but there are some furniture and appliances on the walls. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of items that have been glued to the wall with some sort of strange orangey epoxy. You can see sets of dentures. There is a 1940s style wheelchair. There are some modern and antique artificial limbs, dozens of shirts. There's a briefcase. There are various radios from different eras. There's a lot of jewelry, and there are definitely thousands of papers as well. And at a glance, you can see that some are in English or Spanish, but there's also some that looks like Mandarin, something that you think might be Farsi. I'm not sure what languages your characters speak or read. And that's basically the scene that is before you as you arrive here. What do you want to do?
Well, if there is a briefcase, I'm a businessman. I'm naturally attracted to briefcases, and it seems like a logical first place to start, even if, given Abigail's state of mind, logic might not be so great as a starting point. But still, briefcase. I know my way around a briefcase. You can't go wrong with a briefcase.
All right. So I'm just going to go around and ask everyone what they're doing, and then we'll kind of resolve stuff. What is Roberta doing?
I'm going to leave the thousands of curios glued to the wall to the rest of the team. I'm going to look around for other not so obvious clues, like I don't know, check cupboards and closets and look under beds and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Margarita?
I am examining the stuff on the walls, just trying to see if there's any kind of pattern or anything, really.
Yep. And Bobby?
Bobby is, leaning in close with Margarita, staring at the items of the wall, tracing a hand across them, and going like, "What happened to you, Abigail?"
All right. So let's see. What will you find in the briefcase? The only thing that you find in the briefcase is a receipt. Now, I'm just going to check whether I'm going to be able to share my screen with you, because last time I tried this, it didn't work. But let's see how this goes. No, Chrome doesn't have permission to capture my screen. Okay, so this isn't going to work. So I'll try and fix the handouts when we take a break. But what you find is a receipt. It's made out from Abigail for 1 month's rent for apartment 10B, and it is dated 1 month after she disappeared. You know that this is a 3-story building. There's a ground floor, a first floor, and a second floor. There is no apartment 10B.
Oh, well, probably somebody made a mistake. People make that all the time. I will call on my thugs to look for things that they might find strange. And while they're doing that, I will move over to Margarita, where Bobby is encroaching on her, and try to offer her my experience in this sort of thing.
All right. Well, we'll come back to the three of you in just a sec. Roberta, as you kind of look around the apartment, so you can see that there used to be furniture here, like there's kind of scuff marks in the lino where the furniture used to sit or where appliances used to sit, but there's not really anything to look like under or around. But what you do eventually find is that there is a small microphone that has been hidden under the door frame in the entrance to the apartment. There is a wire that runs off it, and it looks to you like the wire runs further down the corridor to one of the neighboring apartments.
All right. Well, if it's at all possible to take a photo of a microphone under a door with my smartphone, I'll do that. And I will, I'll head over to the crew who are all fawning over Margarita, and sort of indignantly break things up. Like, I found a bug underneath the door, and it's heading down the wires are leading down the hall. I think we should look into this.
Cool. So just before you respond to Roberta, Margarita, you said that you were looking in particular for patterns, and you definitely see that there are patterns in this stuff. You can't it's not a pattern in the sense that you could necessarily identify it, like figure out what the logic is, but it definitely seems to you that they've been organized according to some sort of principle, that something is going on with the way they're ordered. What the group of you find is a hand-drawn map of the apartment building with some oddities about it. So I've added a tab to the character keeper called Handouts, and I've pasted it in there. It's kind of giant, so feel free to resize it into something that's manageable for you all to look at. But that's what you're all looking at as Roberta comes over.
And that was sketched out with the off the items kind of thing on the wall, right?
So this piece of paper was stuck to the wall. As you look at it, you all have a strange feeling of being watched. And that's as you register that feeling, that's when Roberta comes over and tells you about a bug in the apartment.
Are we on the? I'm sorry. Are we on the second or first floor?
You're on the ground floor.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
You're in the kind of bottom. You're in the southeast corner of the ground floor.
Oh, okay. All right.
I will turn to Roberta and say, well, yes, my dear, bugs seem to be your thing, right?
Yes. Well.
Come on, Roberta. I'll give you a hand.
Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate it. Apparently, at least some people appreciate me on this team. Let's go.
And I turn to Margarita and say, they are very self-important, the two of them.
And I pat Margarita on the shoulder. Good job finding that map. I'm sure it'll be real important. And I, flash her a winning smile as I lingering touch on the shoulder, perhaps, as I go.
How does Margarita respond?
I think she's adapted to the whole surprise, you're a government agent thing by just sort of playing it up to 11. Like, yes, fellow agent, this is a good success for the mission. Mm-hmm.
And I laugh and wink as I go out the door,
All right. Are all of you going to go down the hall? Sorry, go on.
I will say to Margarita, they are very unprofessional with that winking.
I hear them calling for me. I'll go help.
I will follow at my own pace, of course. I mean, I feel that I'm the leader of this expedition, naturally.
All right. So, Anselmo, just as you're sort of leaving last out of the apartment, you hear movement. You hear a sudden movement behind you, like back deeper into the apartment. Do you stop? Do you turn? Do you just keep going?
No, of course I stop. This is probably important. Maybe a thief, or maybe it's Abigail. She was always very unpredictable. And I will not sneak. I will stride over there where the noise was coming from and confront whatever was making the noise.
Yeah. So as you turn,
and I will call out, FBI.
Ah. So as you turn, you see a man like sort of rush across the hallway into the bathroom. He doesn't respond to you calling out FBI. You want to follow him in?
Stop, FBI, and I want to demand what I deserve.
Ah, okay. Let's see.
Because I deserve being not ignored, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, what's your question?
So, am I offering something of value in return? I don't know. Probably not. Do they love you in this moment? I don't know. That I don't know who they are. So maybe they are an old flame. Who knows? But I am taking control of the situation.
Yeah. All right. So roll with +1, I reckon.
Okay, fair enough. Number of these 6. 2. Roll modifier is 1. And roll the dice. I've got a 10.
Wow. Cool. Yeah. So on a 10 plus, you can remove one of the options and they choose one from the remaining.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want them to choose from?
Okay, let me look at the move, sorry. I think what I want to remove is they run away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll come back to you. I'm just going to follow up with the other characters down the hallway. Cool. So the three of you arrive, like you follow the wire down the hallway. You can see that it runs under one of the neighboring apartments on the ground floor. How do you want to do this?
Weird.
So after a few moments, someone comes to the door in a bathrobe and opens it, and you all recognize Thomas Manuel, who also was a character on the show until a few years ago. You didn't know that he'd moved here. I think maybe, Roberta, I'll ask you, what do regular viewers of the show remember about your relationship with this guy?
Thomas and I worked at the same TV station. Maybe we were like competing reporters or anchor persons or something like that, and we always had like sort of an acrimonious relationship. Always like trying to outdo the other and get the top spot as the main anchor on the news.
Yeah, right. So he opens the door and kind of starts to say hello, and then he kind of narrows his eyes and says, "Roberta," and then he looks at Bobby and says, "Roberta?"
Oh, what's this guy's name? I'm sorry, I forgot.
His name is Thomas Manuel.
Right, Thomas. What are you doing here?
Well, Roberta, I could have asked you the same thing. I moved here a few years ago to work on my art. What brings you to New York?
We're here looking for Abigail. This time.
He kind of blinks. He's a bit surprised by that. I think at this point, if you're wearing your FBI credentials where they can be seen, he kind of takes those in.
Yeah, I'm wearing one of those FBI coach jackets, like the plastic jacket. Yeah, so.
Yes. And I think that he'll kind of warm to you a little at that point. He said, "Oh, well, I'm glad to see that the government's taking this seriously. It seemed like people, the cops didn't really do that much. Can I help you somehow?"
Yeah, can you give us any more information on what happened with Abigail? I mean, obviously, you guys lived down the hall from each other. I'm assuming you were friends.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty friendly. We saw each other a lot. I mean, I don't know what happened to her. She just seemed to disappear so suddenly. But I just think she was kind of a free spirit. She wasn't going to be held down. She just decided that New York wasn't for her.
So you both were working on art. What kind of art was she working on when you saw her last?
Yeah, I mean, I think she was struggling a little bit. She had her first solo show last year, and it was a big hit. She was kind of having, it's kind of hard to follow up something like that. People were still, talking a lot about her work, but she wasn't really sure where she wanted to take it next or what the next level for her was.
Sounds like you knew Abigail really well, Thomas.
I mean, I don't know how much you know about this building. It's kind of an artist co-op. We're both, both Latinx artists living in New York. We had a lot in common.
This is my sister, Bobby, by the way. She's also with the FBI.
Bobby. And you are? And she kind of gestures to Margarita.
I'm Agent Margarita, sir. I am also FBI, yes.
Listen, Manuel. You coming all over all chummy here with my sister? I'm not so easily fooled. We found a wire in Abigail's apartment, a wire that leads right here.
What do you mean, a wire?
And we did find the bug that led out to here, right? We followed the bug, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean a listening device, you pervert.
Hey!
Yeah. And I slam him up against the door, FBI style, and I'm like, worked at a TV station, right? Is that what got you fired? Is that why Bobby got you? Is that why Roberta got your job?
All right. Well, I think you should roll to strike out at someone with voice or violence.
Yeah. Or accuse someone of lying to their face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're right. Sure.
Yeah. Even though I think I'm better with the strike out at someone, but I prefer the things on the results on that one. So I do have an audience, I think.
Yeah.
I have evidence.
Seems like it. Yep.
Yeah. And I am handling things head on and without guile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, I can't use roll with me.
Oh, yeah. Just roll whatever dice you want. That's fine.
Cool. I will just grab 2d6 quickly. One second.
Sure.
I thought I'd got it working, but the block on my computer is still in place for domains with XYZ. So
Yeah, right.
11 on the dice.
All right.
So choose 2.
Yeah.
They're surprised, scared, or flustered, and they admit their falsehood or mark a condition.
Okay. Well, look, it's just about the hour now, and I need to figure out how the hell I'm going to interpret these results with the options that I have. So, look, can we take a 10-minute break, and we'll come back in 10 minutes past the hour? All right, that's great. Thanks very much.
You're there.
I keep laughing at the idea of just doing this in Pasión at all. Like every time I think about it, I just start giggling.
I like this idea. Just this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're saving this show now with Cthulhu. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think someone at the network is getting fired for this idea. All right, is everyone good to keep playing?
Yep.
Cool. So Anselmo, you had just called out to this guy who ran into the bathroom, kind of stop FBI, and you have left him with the options to concede and clear a condition or to refuse and escalate. So you hear this movement in the bathroom kind of come to a stop. He's going to concede. What do you do?
I stride over and do I know the person?
So you're sure you saw a man run across the hallway. You thought you saw some white shoes and a briefcase, but as you turn into the bathroom, which is very small, there's definitely nowhere anyone could be hiding. What you see is a large grey-haired mastiff, and it just kind of looks up at you. Its tail wags a little. But there's no sign of any man that came in here.
I look at the mastiff, kind of suspiciously, and say, well, since you are not a person I can arrest, you are evidence I can take with me. And I put away my handcuffs and take some I don't know. Does the dog have a collar?
Oh, that is a great question. No, I don't think it does have a collar. But it seems friendly.
Okay, so I do not carry a dog leash with me, so I will tell the dog, quite frankly, that it will be evidence in this case. I am Anselmo de la Vega, special agent with the FBI, and that this dog is supposed to follow me now.
It walks up and kind of tries to nuzzle at your hand or your leg, whatever it can kind of nose against.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big softie at heart, so nobody's watching me because the thugs are not here and nobody else is there. So I will tell him, yeah, you are a very good dog and you are very soft, but you are also evidence. Mm-hmm. So come on, evidence. Let's find the rest of my team and see what they have to say.
All right. So back down the corridor at the entrance to Thomas's apartment, Bobby has just accused Thomas of lying, and he is going to admit his falsehood, and he's surprised, scared, or flustered. So what you see is that at first he has this moment of like looking kind of confused and defensive, and then he explodes with rage towards you. He's going to hit you unless someone kind of stops him, and he screams like, "Why shouldn't I record the apartment?" As he like swings at your head. So either Bobby or someone else is going to need to. Tell me if there's another move that you want to use, but it seems to me that you're going to need to strike out at someone to stop him from hitting Bobby.
Yes, I'm happy to do so. That's my sister.
Yep.
I'm
So I think
gonna since I'm a television anchor person and an erstwhile FBI agent. I think this is a perfect opportunity to unveil the fact that I'm also a mixed martial artist.
yeah,
I'll do some sort of judo throw. You know.
amazing. So I think you've definitely caught him. Yeah, you've caught him off guard. He was not expecting. I don't think he knew about your MMA training. I think he probably has just wronged you, trying to
Yeah.
just take a swing at your sister.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's your character's question?
Oh, am I taking advantage of my twin's position or whatever it is? A reputation. So no.
All right, so just rolling with +2.
All right, I'm going to roll locally.
Yeah, sure. That's fine for anyone who wants to roll their own dice or whatever.
9.
9. So on a 9, your strike lands and you each mark a condition. So yeah, you catch him in time, you throw him to the ground. He doesn't manage to hit Bobby, but you're also going to mark a condition. Maybe he kind of like scratches your face as he goes down. And I imagine that you kind of land, kneeling on his chest, pinning him to the ground.
Right, with a palm strike raised, so not to make any sort of fancy moves here. So I've got him pinned down and I've got the palm strike ready. I'm like, I took you out at the TV station. I took you out here. Do not try to assault my sister, who is also an FBI agent. That is a felony.
He grumbles. Yeah. Margarita, how do you react to this display?
Yeah, I am not getting involved in any of that. I'm just gonna sort of like duck into the corner. And actually, I was wondering. So on the handout, there's that little part of the map labeled "To the Night Floors."
Mm-hmm.
Is that connected to the dead woman's apartment, or?
So no. So that's like, so her apartment's on the ground floor on the bottom, whereas that bit that connects that kind of says "To the night floor" is on the first floor.
Oh, it's British. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
Confusing convention for a telenovela.
A confusing convention for a game completely made by Americans as well, as far as I know.
Well, it suits me because that's how we like number floors in Australia. But never mind. Cool. And right about now is Anselmo kind of coming up the hall, arriving to this scene.
You were watching, and then camera, like step over him into the room and look around at whatever there is behind,
Yeah. So it's actually quite empty. It's pretty austere. Not like Abby's apartment, which has been like, everything has been taken. But you don't see any art. You don't see books. There is a lot of expensive looking stereo equipment. And yeah, so some like basics, a few chairs, a couch or something like that, but it's pretty minimal.
Is there any like AV equipment though, like anything that he would be because he said he was watching the apartment and he would have a book, so any like equipment that he'd be watching it on or listening to it on?
I mean, there's a lot of stereo equipment, but you don't see anything like a screen.
How are you watching it, creep? Where does it go to?
He looks a little blank. Since that moment of explosive rage, he's really like calmed down, and he says that he doesn't know what you're talking about.
I wonder, does evidence have some sort of reaction towards him?
No, evidence is just like padding along behind you,
Okay.
looking for head scratches.
Okay. I'll look at Roberta and say, did you do the martial arts thing again?
You know me too well, Anselmo. I've just gotten my black belt, so of course, I'm going to use it at every opportunity.
I I don't think it helped jog his memory, though. I don't know. Somebody looked at the apartment. How did whoever that was miss the dog?
There wasn't a dog in there.
There was well, I found it in the bathroom. So unless you think evidence is a teleporting dog, it
No,
was there.
he must have gone past you when we left the room.
Yes, there's this very small dog, and I would totally look at him. You can't overlook him, Bobby. Not even you could do
Well,
that.
apparently one of us did, and I look over at Roberta.
Oh, well, this is not very helpful. At least I found him in the apartment. I have no idea what he was doing there, but he seems friendly. I have collected him as evidence for the FBI.
Well, good. We'll keep hold of him.
Should we arrest this person here? I have handcuffs. Oh, wait, I will forget it. I arrest this person. I have handcuffs. You, sir, are under arrest, FBI. And then I hand my hand.
This is outrageous. What am I under arrest for?
Attempted assault of an FBI agent.
Obstruction.
Illegal surveillance.
Danger of obfuscation.
Look, I'm happy to help. Like, just there's no need for this. Roberta, we didn't always get along, but come on.
We've caught you red-handed. You were spying on her. You were spying on her, and then when we questioned you about it, you assaulted one of us. I think that this might be. I always thought there was something off about you. Perhaps you're some sort of weird serial killer. Perhaps our what's it called? Forensics department can give you the once over to make sure that you're not up to some sort of untoward demise of young artists here in New York.
He looks very confused about what's going on, and he kind of says questioningly, "I assaulted you?"
Did he always drink? And I'm gonna just exasperately follow the wire into the room, and I think I'm even doing the whole kind of pulling it from the wall, not snapping it off, but pulling it out so you can see it more, putting the wire slack kind of thing.
All of you who are by Thomas see his eyes widening in surprise as you do that. But the cable leads to some of the stereo equipment, and you can see there are audio tapes in it, and it appears to you that he's been recording onto that equipment.
I'll hand Roberta the handcuffs and say, arrest him. And then I look, where's Margarita?
I am petting the hell out of that dog.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Okay, I have. Then I will inform you that this is the dog is named Evidence.
You are not evidence. You are a good dog. Yes, you are.
Evidence is very friendly, so he'll definitely kind of lick at your face if you allow that sort of thing.
I do, yeah.
I want to go through these audio tapes, in his apartment with this equipment, scanning through them and stuff.
Yeah, so there's one tape in the stereo, whatever's been most recently recorded onto. You don't immediately see other tapes. And when you play it back and kind of, skip through it looking for anything of interest, it sounds like a tape recording of an empty apartment.
I record it on my phone as we listen to the thing, so I've now got the same recording on my phone as was on the. I'm like, weird. I hope maybe we'd find some trace of Abigail, but I swear I could hear her. I thought I'd just hear her voice one more time, So worried about her.
I imagine she will be fine. She usually comes out on top of these things, but we shall find her. And if we were to rescue her, well, that would be just the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
I'm wondering if I could process my feelings out loud as I talk about wistfully looking for
Oh,
Abby
right.
and being worried.
Cool.
And
Yeah, I think you absolutely can.
so, Shane, are you rooting for me as a member of the
Yeah,
audience?
yeah.
For Bobby. Roberta, are you rooting for
Absolutely.
Margarita?
Yes, I am.
And Anselmo?
I think you get a max of +3, so I'm not.
I know, but I'd be interested.
Yeah, no, I'm selfish, and I will not allow you to have feelings about Abigail, because clearly Anselmo's relationship to her is far more interesting. That you are the newcomer in this season. Oh wait, maybe I am rooting for you. Damn.
Well, it depends on what the abuela back at home watching thinks about it.
The abuela is confused. The abuela is very confused about
the abuela's
Roberta,
always been a
Bobby,
big
and
fan
which
of.
one you are. And no, the abuela has lost all kind of. Who's this?
What's going on there? FBI now? What? Yes.
I'm assuming that we're all like Bobby and I are wearing the exact same uniform. You know,
that's
like
right.
we're both wearing the exact same gear, so it's even more confusing.
Oh yeah, I imagine that like no attempt is being made just to make it really surreal and kind of off-putting. You know.
Yeah.
I got a 11.
Oh, great.
Nice.
So when I hit choose one, take +1 ongoing while following information. A 10 plus I can set a scene where I follow that information immediately.
Yeah.
The audience tells me how to get the audience reveals a crucial event going on outside of view, let's say.
I was going to say, you're going to make this hard for Shane, aren't you?
I'm just thinking about what is happening out of view at the moment.
I would suggest that maybe like what's happening, it'd be like something that I could I would just accidentally stumble into, as like a scene, right? Like I don't need to know what it is kind of stuff, but it'll just be the next scene that Bobby goes into kind of stuff. Like after I haul him back downstairs to hand off to the goons, and then, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, the way I was looking at this, I was thinking about it in this specific context, as maybe it makes more sense for you specifically because, Night Floors is an actual scenario rather than like make it up as you go kind of thing.
I've got something. Like I'm trying to work with what I've got. So if you don't feel like this is enough for a good role, like I'm happy to work with you.
Yeah.
But I think that what the audience tells you, I guess I haven't run this game before, and I'm thinking about like what I tell what your character knows versus what I tell you.
I don't think my character knows anything at this point.
Yeah, so it's something happening off screen. So what's happening off screen is that a woman named Cynthia LaChance, who runs Art Life, the not-for-profit organization that rents the apartments in this building out to artists, emerging artists with low incomes and things like that. She is sadly at her desk, sighing a little as she drafts eviction notices for non-payment of rent to all the residents of this building.
Oh, maybe this is the moment when I remember that I have this receipt, and that would trigger a sequence that would lead us to what Cynthia, right? Cynthia was her name.
Yeah. I mean, I guess just to expand on that a bit, like there's not a lot more information to get from Cynthia herself, but there might be more information to get from the neighbors as you try and figure out why everyone as you think about why everyone in the apartment has stopped paying rent at the same time.
I would like to frame that then as that Bobby drags this guy out of the room to hand off to like the goons outside kind of stuff. Just to split the group, the party up a bit, and then my next scene will be doing that. Bobby? No one has to, but if they would like to, they're welcome.
If you're going to meet the goons, I will come with you because they're my goons.
And Roberta and Margarita, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna take the dog walking through the building to see if they react weirdly to anything. I'm
Okay.
especially
Cool. Roberta, do you who do you want to join, or do you have something else that you'd like to do?
I will accompany Margarita
Cool.
on the rounds and say to her, it is a ridiculous pissing match between these two, isn't it? Between Bobby and Anselmo, they're constantly with this whole this whole pecking order and fighting for the top spot. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's sort of embarrassing, don't you think? And I say, I think somebody with your level of sensitivity would understand. And I kind of put my hand on her back.
Margarita, how do you react?
I'm on the job and surrounded by all the people who want to be with me. So I'm just gonna sort of shimmy out of the hand reach. Yeah.
Aww.
All right. So I think that if you're kind of taking the dog around the ground floor, then it'll react to one of the other apartment doors. So I think there are 4 apartments altogether on the ground floor. One of them it just walks right past. 2 of them we've looked at already. It kind of does wag its tail a little and sniff around the 4th door. It kind of looks to you to see if we're going in there, and then if you don't react, it'll continue on.
Okay, I think I'll probably come back to that room, but I'm gonna check the first floor now.
Okay. It plods enthusiastically up the stairs. It seems happy to be climbing upstairs. I'll come back to you two in a sec. Bobby and Anselmo, you're handing Thomas off to the goons. He is pleading that he has no idea what's going on, that he didn't do it.
I pull out that receipt of that Anselmo I had from the briefcase,
Yeah, maybe I'll pull it out and say, maybe this is also evidence.
Wait, did you pay this, Thomas?
No, of course.
No, not you, Anselmo.
I don't pay. I have not paid Abigail's rent in I think 12 years.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah. And I say, you paid this rent. You can afford to pay your own rent and hers just so that you can listen to an empty apartment.
He says that's her signature on the receipt. I didn't pay her rent.
Wait, this is after she went missing.
Well, that's not even a real room. I don't know where you got that.
There's no
maybe you're wrong about some things that you think you're so sure about.
When was the last time you paid your apartment, chump?
He looks genuinely confused by that. He says, "I don't know what day I paid rent."
And then
I'm confused now. Don't people who live in rented apartments instead of a palace like I have, don't they usually have to remember when to pay rent? I seem to have this vague idea, because I'm wrong. Correct me if I am. I know you love to, Bobby.
No, you're right. Right, Anselmo?
He says the rent's due on the 25th, but he doesn't remember what day he paid it.
And yeah, I think that's just enough for us to have in character the knowledge that the residents haven't paid the thing. We end the scene with making some phone calls, right?
Yeah.
So if you make some phone calls, I think that what you'll find out is, you'll confirm that none of the residents have paid rent, and you'll also confirm that nobody has paid a power bill, a phone bill. This guy, I think this is set in 95, so probably not a Netflix bill, but all the utilities seem to be unpaid. But you have seen that the power in the building is working. The utilities all seem to be on.
That is the moment when I can send out my goons to shake these people down.
So who are you shaking down?
Yeah, I mean, ask them, not very politely, they're with the FBI now, ask them why they didn't stop paying their bills and why everything still seems to work, right?
Yeah, that's
Instead of
reasonable.
Do a door knocking.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay, they can go around and ask some people. So let's roll that move, and then I think we'll let Margarita and Roberta talk to one of the neighbors individually, and they can cover the rest of them if that works.
Yeah. And I love this move. I apologize, but this is my favorite move of the whole game. So,
All right.
roll question. Is it an easy job? I imagine it is an easy job.
Pretty
They are
easy.
actually with the FBI. Is the crew in good health? Yes, the crew is in good health. And I'm also taking control of the situation, as usual. So I will roll plus 3. Wow.
Nine.
Well, it's a 9. That's fair.
The target
7
chooses one.
Yeah, 7 to 9. Target chooses 1. Yeah.
Let's see. What are the choices? They give the crew what you're looking for. Yeah. So the information that your goons get is that none of them can identify at all when they paid when they think they've paid these bills. None of them have a clear explanation for why they wouldn't have. They all seem to think they have. Maybe some of them even go through it with your thugs, like go to their receipts or go to, like ye olde 1995 internet banking records to try and show you that they've paid things, but then are surprised. But insist they must have paid these things, but just can't produce any evidence of it.
I will turn to Bobby at this point, lift my eyebrow, and say, something is very wrong here.
Artists.
So I'm going to jump back to Margarita and Roberta. So you head up to the first floor, and the dog makes a pretty direct beeline for that sort of northeast corner apartment that on the hand-drawn map is marked as leading to the night floors. And it sort of stops at the door and looks back expectantly at you. What do you do?
I head that way. Yeah, I'm following the dog here.
All right. And then do you want to knock on the door?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you hear footsteps approach the door, and a man opens it. He looks to be about late 20s, quite thin, quite well dressed. He looks a little affronted to see the FBI, because you're both wearing FBI jackets. He's taken aback, and he says, "Hello, how may I help you?"
I'm holding up the badge as well when he opens the door.
He almost sneers at it, like he doesn't. You can see that he doesn't like the FBI.
Yes, we're the FBI, and we would like to ask you some questions. First, do you know this dog?
He looks down at the dog. He looks up and says, "I don't care for dogs, but I think I've seen it around the building sometimes."
I see. With anyone in particular?
He looks a bit blank. I am not close with the other residents. I can't keep track of their comings and goings.
Are you as an artist as well?
He again looks a little offended at that. He says, "I am an award-winning poet."
Oh, I love poetry. Please tell me more.
So at the slightest provocation, he will launch into a lengthy diatribe about his poetry. It includes many polysyllabic words. It will just continue indefinitely until you interrupt it, essentially, as he talks about the deconstructive and Lacanian qualities of his work. But he certainly warms to you if you let him talk like that for even a few moments.
Yeah, I was gonna let him run let him go off and talk about himself a lot, and basically, oh, that's fascinating. What an interesting, what a fascinating approach to the written word. Butter him up, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his smile gets wider and wider, like every time you say anything complimentary.
All right, so I will continue to juice him until we feel like it's an appropriate time to start asking real questions.
All right, so go ahead. What are the questions that you ask?
So I guess we'll approach the whole we don't know about the non-payment of rent, correct? Because that happened with Bobby and Anselmo, right?
Yeah, I don't think you know about that yet.
Okay. I guess I'll ask. So, can you tell us more about this building? I mean, we know it's for artists, and that's a wonderful thing, especially with gifted art, poets like yourself being able to take up residence here. Can you tell us more about it? What sort of other things happen here?
So he'll kind of run you through the not-for-profit organization that runs it. He'll say that it's a little sad, not that many of the apartments are occupied. But, everyone who lives here is a working artist. When he says that, he says more or less. He conveys some scorn for the artistic practice of some of the other residents. He probably goes on to tell you a little bit about the history of the building, that it was actually designed by an architect, quite a famous architect who turned out to be a child murderer, which he finds a fascinatingly ghoulish detail. But I don't think he really has anything to say in terms of like other activities or anything like that go on in the building.
So you mean to tell me that that's a bit disturbing that there was a child murderer who lived here. Can you tell us more about that?
Of course. Arthur Darabondi was quite a famous architect. Mostly he's worked in the 20s through to the 50s. He actually vanished without a trace in the early 50s.
From here?
Not from here. I'm not quite sure where his residence was at the time.
Oh.
There have been some ghoulish events in the building in the past that I could tell you of if you're interested.
Please do.
The building was originally built in the 1920s as a private residence for a Henry Lundeen. Lundeen himself died right around the same time that Darabondi vanished. I believe it was 1952 when Lundeen had a fatal stroke on the staircase to the roof and was found dressed in the strangest silver robes.
Silver robes in 1952? Huh.
Passing strange.
Has any of the artists, including yourself, ever done any work inspired by this bizarre tale?
So he'll refer you to one of his poems that does have some oblique references to it, but he's not really familiar with the other artists in the building's work.
All right, so I will appropriately seem like a flutter with every word that leaves his lips. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not so much in a flirtatious way, just more in of I'm trying to oversell the fact that I think that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread and appeal to his ego.
Yeah. I mean, he'll even say something like, I normally don't get along with police, but you're very well educated. You're very insightful for a police officer.
Well, I used to be a TV anchor person.
He shudders at that.
Well, I have friends in the business. Perhaps we can find a way to get you some more exposure for your incredible amount of work, your incredible body of work.
Very, very interesting. And he starts loading you up with volumes of his poetry from the bookshelves that kind of line his apartment. Bookshelves are really all you can see from the doorway. or even if he's, if you've gone inside to talk to him inside, the whole of the living area, which is quite large, is just lined with bookcases.
All right.
I wish I could be more helpful to you. I'm sorry, I just
I'm
don't
sorry.
think
I'll be right back. My
the
son
FBI.
Junior just arrived. I have to go grab it. I'll be back.
Go. All right. Well, Margarita, I'll just come back to the two of you unless there's something in particular that you want to do well. All right. So Bobby and Anselmo, doesn't take too long after you've made these kind of inquiries and your goons have come back and you've confirmed that you can't identify any proof that anyone's paid anything in this building in quite some time. One of the goons might even tell you that he noticed that the food in the fridge, all the food in the fridge has use-by dates from March, which is like 3 months ago, but it still seems okay.
How odd. I remember that some years back we had quite an incidence of food poisoning. Abigail was really the worst for it. Huh.
Artists. Billy anything.
Oh well. We must not judge. The creative mind is something that is to be treasured for sure. And while we're speaking of things to be treasured, let's find Margarita and evidence again.
You go. I'm gonna poke around here. I'm gonna have a look at one of those things on that crazy map.
Yes, let me take a picture of that crazy map so I can refer to it if I need to. I mean, I imagine we have smartphones, right?
I don't remember what smartphones were like in 1995.
1995. Oh, okay. Then I'll just take a Polaroid. That existed
Sure.
back then.
Yeah, I think you've got basic investigative equipment, so Polaroid totally.
I'm going to say that we, when we found the map, we had it on a table and we drew a copy of it. So we have a piece of paper with it written on down where is needed.
Sorry, you mean Bobby personally drew the map?
Yes. Yeah.
I have a Polaroid. But when I look at the Polaroid, I say, wait a minute. White shoes. Man, something, blue, I can't read this. Briefcase, right. But I think I thought for a moment back there in Abigail's apartment, I saw a man with white shoes. Turns out it was, only thing I found was evidence, but, it's certainly passing strange. If you see a man with white shoes, arrest him, Bobby, so we can question him. And then I stride off, having given some instruction. And I will go somewhere else.
Yeah, Bobby rolls.
I will go and look for Margarita and the dog, basically.
Okay. So, Bobby, what are you going to do?
Bobby, the shot of Anselmo going away after the salute is just rolling her eyes at the self-importance of El Jefe walking down the corridor. And she looks down at the map and, she goes over to... is there an elevator here?
No, there's just the stairs.
It's just the stairs. I go over to, I look for man in briefcase with white shoes. I go over to that apartment, that space on the map that's marked there.
Yeah, okay. Let me find my other map. Sorry, this is just going to involve me shuffling some tabs for a minute.
I know what a Delta Green scenario looks like, so yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, I was wondering what time of day it is as well.
Yeah, so I was going to flag that soon. I think it's like late afternoon. So like late afternoon. The sun's going to be going down soon. That is something like notable that your characters want to be aware of. But I'm just going to say, to avoid like annoying delays or confusion, this is not a signal that you want to wrap up your investigations for the day. I'm not telling you. Like I used to run a lot of 5e. This is not the signal that it's time for a long rest. So Bobby, you head to that apartment. Like you come to the door. You want to knock or?
Yeah, knock. Whoever answers, I'll show the picture of Abigail and ask about them.
Yeah. So middle-aged woman opens the door. She kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. She says, like, "Oh, we already, there were people here asking questions just a little while ago. I mean, I want to help, but come on.
Well, if you want to help, then you'll talk, right?
What do you want to know?"
Well, I'm wondering. You didn't. You said you didn't see. You don't know where Abigail is. You haven't seen her, right? That's what you said.
I mostly keep to myself. I didn't really know her. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But what about a man with a briefcase and white shoes? You seen them?
Doesn't ring a bell.
How about Mr. Castaigne? Does that ring any bells for you?
Yeah, Mr. Castaigne's the night manager here.
The night manager? Oh, right. Where's the night manager? Where's his office?
I don't know that he has an office. He's around attending to things sometimes. He's very helpful.
Okay, Mr. Castaigne, and just bear with me here. Does roses and butter mean anything to you?
Roses and butter? No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure. Wild shot anyways, right? But yeah. Sorry, what? He leans in and like over the door. What are you working on there?
So she shows you. So you see it like she's got a word processor in the corner. I write science fiction novels. Maybe you've heard of the Night Sea books.
The Night Sea books. Yeah, I used to love those.
She smiles. I like them. My default like representation of any author character is that they're pretentious and easily flattered.
Yeah, but I grew out of them a while ago, you know.
Well, that's fair. Then the newer ones have some adult themes. You might want to get back into them. She invites you in. She's happy to talk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy. I don't think I go in. I think I'm just like, oh no, thanks for what's her name? Do you have a
Michelle Van Fitz?
Michelle Van Fitz. And I'm gonna go like, well, thanks. I'll keep an eye out for Mr. What does Mr. Castaigne look like?
He's an older guy. He's white hair, pretty disheveled.
Older guy, white hair, disheveled. Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye out from them. Thanks. And you know what? I will check out the book.
Great. Well, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, and I say wave goodbye. And I think as the door shuts and the camera goes past the thing on the word processor, there is Night Floors, season 5, episode 3, like script, and then like the start of the thing, script of the TV of the episode at the top of it.
Yeah, I think you do see something like that.
But the audience sees that, of course, not the characters. Yes.
Okay, Abe, are you back? No, all right.
Yes, I have been back. Sorry, cool. I put it in the I put it in the chat.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see. Thanks. So, Abe and Margarita. Oh, sorry, Roberta and Margarita. What are you doing? You're still talking to was it Roger?
I don't remember. But do you have anything you wanna cover, Margarita?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll take the books. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your gift with me. If we could get some contact information, I'd love to be able to follow up with some questions. And if I have contacts that I could pass on to you to get your work out there, out in the public eye a bit more, I'd be happy to pass those on along as well.
Oh yes, well I could autograph the books with my and include my phone number if that would be convenient.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much.
So he kind of sits down, he autographs each of them individually, he puts his phone number in there, he hands them back to you. Is this maybe a point where the characters will sort of meet up again and plan their next steps, or do people have specific things that they want to do?
I have one thing I would like to do before I meet up with them, because there is there is one apartment that has a door on 712, and I wonder what that's about. So I'll go to the apartment and try to figure out what 712 means, and if I can't readily find out, I will knock and ask.
Okay, so you'll be just across the hall from where Roberta and Margarita are talking to Roger. Now, let me just find my other map.
I wave at Margarita.
Okay. So another guy in his kind of mid to late 20s opens the door, says, "Oh, hello."
Hello, my name is Anselmo de la Vega. I'm a special advisor to the FBI, and I show her my badge. And I'm looking for this woman named Abigail Rodriguez. She might have a little different look. She's known to be wearing wigs sometimes.
He says, "Yeah, I knew Abby. I used to see her around a little bit. I already told the police everything I know. I don't think there's much that I could help you with."
Ah, yes, but you see, we are special investigators with the FBI. We are not the police. We are not those plodding, faithful but slightly plodding purveyors of law and order. We are looking into the deeper mysteries here, and you see a close-up of the face and these eyes that look very intensely at this old person. At this person, I don't know why I thought he was old. And he said, and Anselmo says, maybe you have information you don't even know you have.
Oh, well, I mean, come in, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
I show the Polaroid. What does this mean? The door to 712. Door on 712. And there is an arrow pointing at your place. Why?
He looks at it, quite confused. I don't know. There's no 712 in this building. I'm not sure who drew that map. It's a bit strange, isn't it?
That is a very good question. I can see my man, and I pat him on the shoulder while I barge into his place, because I want to look around for myself here. You have a very good eye. That is a very interesting question. Might have been Abigail, but I doubt it. She had a far more floral way of writing.
And so what are you doing inside? You're just sort of looking around, or?
Yes, exactly. I mean, there is an arrow that points into the apartment. So I will look around, and I will look at the ceiling, and I will look at the floor.
Yep. So he follows you through the apartment. He's kind of, trying to be helpful and positive, but also a bit surprised that there's an FBI agent snooping around his house. The place where the arrow marks, you see there's a bed, his bed, and you said that you look at the floor. What you see under his bed is probably the most striking thing. There is a large mirror under his bed with a very elaborate kind of Baroque frame. It almost fills up the entire space underneath his bed. It's very large. It looks like an antique of some kind. And I mean, Anselmo seems like he might be the sort of guy who could, place or recognize an antique. Does that seem right to you?
Yes, probably. He's probably done this before.
Yeah, you think like maybe 1800s, like French or Swiss, something like that?
I look at him and I say, well, my dear friend, I am as vain a man as they come, but no, I am as humble a man as they come. I am as humble a man as they come. But if I had a mirror like that, I would not keep it under my bed. That is basically a crime against art.
He kind of nods and laughs and agrees with you. He's like, it's true. I got that from a secondhand store, and I just haven't had a chance to hang it yet.
That's very strange. And I will drag the mirror out to look at it a bit closer, just because it's a piece of art, and I actually think that is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a remarkably beautiful mirror. You don't notice anything further that's strange or unusual about it. But it's, I mean, even the idea that he found this in a secondhand store cheap seems, hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. What I also want to do when I draw it out, I'll just look into the mirror if there is anything underneath the bed. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think like an FBI agent, right? Investigating a mystery. So maybe the mirror is hiding something that he keeps under his bed. Like,
yeah. I mean, there's not really anything else under there except dust.
Damn. Well, that can't be helped. Well, I'll take a picture of the mirror.
Yeah, so he's still trying to be very accommodating. Like, yes, please go ahead and take as many photos as you like.
Oh, well. So, are you an artist?
Yeah, I draw. Well, I draw. Maybe not as fine an artist as some of the people in this building, but yeah, I do some drawings.
Interesting. What is the? Do you have a drawing of Abigail?
No, I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't know her that well.
But she was quite striking. She was a beauty. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yes, she was very beautiful.
Well, then. What's the strangest thing you've ever drawn?
That is a great question. What will he say to that? So I think he'll kind of laugh, and he'll say that, he does a lot of comic book covers and things like that. He laughs. He says there's been a lot of a lot of strange things, some of the things these comic book writers come up with, you wouldn't believe, and just kind of laughs the question off. But you notice, as he's doing that, the apartment is quite cluttered, but you do see that there is a drawing sitting on the nightstand, kind of piled under some things, and it has, like, even though you can only see a small part of it, it has a disturbing quality.
I'll look over and look at it some more.
Yeah, so as you draw it out, you see that it's quite a graphic photo of what appears to be a young child being drowned. Sorry, I think I said photo, but I meant drawing.
That is quite disturbing. I mean, that is horrific, actually. You should draw more wholesome things.
Yeah, he kind of laughs and says, yeah, you're probably right. So I would love to take a break just here, again, just for 10 minutes. So we'll come back about 12 past the hour.
Cool.
That's good for everyone. Is everyone good to keep playing?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I think, again, unless there's something specifically that you want to do as individuals, we might set a scene where your characters have all met back up again, maybe just, out on a landing or something like that. You've relayed to each other the things that you found, unless there are things that you want to conceal from each other for various nefarious or personal reasons. It's getting late. The sun's, I guess it's pretty much gone down at this point. It's gotten dark outside. You might think about leaving, but something tells you that you should stick around a while longer, that there's more that you need to do here today. So, Margarita, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to float the idea that maybe there are secret floors that only appear at night, so we should just hang out here until the sun sets.
Yeah, so it's pretty close. Like, the sun's going down now. It won't be long.
Well, that
Can I?
does not make any scientific sense, but I know that there is more between heaven and earth than our school's wisdom, common wisdom, will teach us. So I think, Margarita, you're spot on.
Roberta, how do you take the idea that there might be magic extra floors at night?
How do you say it? Deus ex machina? I'll buy in. I mean, looks like Will and I are actually eating dinner at the same time too. So what do you think, Will? I'm in with you, sister.
Extra floors that appear at night. That's crazy.
Poppycock.
I'm gonna go watch the sunset from the roof. I'll catch up with you guys.
Is that Rose and Butter? Is it like a restaurant or something? That's on
Great question. Let me open it up. Sorry.
it's on the first floor. It seems to me like it could be a restaurant, but maybe not.
There's no restaurant in the building. I mean that's in Abigail's apartment, or it should be.
Okay.
When you looked around, you didn't see anything there that nothing that seemed to correspond to the phrase "roses and butter."
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, you can definitely you can all go out, grab something to eat, come back around dark or something like that. Bobby up on the roof.
Yeah, Bobby's up on the roof smoking and looking out over the thing. And Abigail, where are you?
I'll go out and get her.
Okay, the two of you up on the roof.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you want to say to each other while you hang out up there? Or are you just waiting for the sun to come down?
I mean, there's so many things that you could say in Pasión to each other, right? On a rooftop.
Calm down. Probably a lot of them you can't really say to your twin.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But I'm.
I'm gonna. I think I'm going to express my upset with Bobby about how she and Anselmo are continually jockeying for position with Margarita and how embarrassing it is for both of them. And they should just, act professionally in this day and age of harassment. That could be a red flag, and that they need to mature themselves. And speaking to you as a sister, Bobby, you've got to pull it together. If someone wants to go down that road and get fired, by all means, we can take over the corner office. But I think
Roberta, don't pull this stuff. It's the same old thing. You're the one who's got your hands all over her, and you're just projecting it. It's just the same as it always was.
So Roberta,
I was
just going to check first with Roberta because I wondered whether you were striking out with voice in the first place.
Well, I was actually going to be processing my feelings out loud, but it might be more dramatically interesting if I strike out verbally.
I mean, it's up to you. Which one do you feel?
I think I'm going to strike out verbally, actually. What do you mean it's the same old story? The only same old story there is the same one that we've been doing since high school when you stole the football captain away from me for the homecoming queen. I was the homecoming queen, and you were cast aside. And then you came in and you stole the football captain. I guess it's soccer. Depending on where you're from, captain from me, and you still keep trying to steal him away from me, don't you? Whoever they may be, maybe it's Margarita, maybe it's Ernesto from a couple years ago.
Why don't we roll with the strikeout? Why don't we roll with the strikeout, Abe? Before we
What's that?
Why don't we roll the strikeout and see how hard this hits me?
What do I do here? I
don't think you've caught Bobby off guard. Maybe you have. What do you think, Bobby?
No. This is the same old story.
Yeah, same old.
Yeah. I don't think Bobby's just wronged you.
No.
And what's
And
your?
I'm not taking advantage of their. Well, am I taking advantage of their twins' reputation? I think so.
I would argue that you are, yeah.
Yeah, I think you are. So
That would be-
roll it +1.
That would be an 8.
Cool.
Each
So on a
mark
hit,
condition.
your strike lands, and you each mark a condition. So tell me about the conditions that you're each going to mark. Roberta, what do you feel in this moment?
I think righteous. I think righteous is a good fit.
Yeah. And Bobby?
Vicious.
All right.
Piss me right off, and I'm like, I remember that story very, very differently. But you always were good at telling stories, weren't you, Bobby? I mean, Roberta, especially to yourself. Flick it out. Flick the cigarette out onto the over the thing.
Are you accusing someone of lying?
Yeah, I think I am confusing someone of lying to their face. Yeah. I don't have an audience. I don't suppose I really have evidence.
No, it sounds like more like it's about how things are remembered.
Yeah, but I am handling things head on and without guile, I think.
Yep.
So that's a +1. Yeah, I don't have any other modifiers to that with my condition. Oh, that is a 12.
Nice. We're rolling quite well today.
Yeah. It makes up for my Dungeon World game earlier where I failed everything.
On a 10+, choose 2.
I am right, despite what the audience has already seen. And they, just because I want to drive it towards, put the option of maybe driving it towards meltdowns already, they admit their falsehood or mark a condition. Your choice, Abe.
I don't know. I think a meltdown would be good. I will take defensive.
Nice. How are you going for conditions then?
I'm 1 shy of a meltdown early on.
Okay.
I think you're 2 shy of a meltdown. You need to have 4 conditions marked and get another one, and then you can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm 2 shy then.
Yeah. All right. So what are Margarita and Anselmo doing while this is going on?
Well, we were starting to have we need to figure out where we would go and look for these night floors. I adore the idea of this mystery. It feels so different from what we usually do. Like, I would usually snipe at Roberta and she would snipe back at me. But I feel that there is a bit, it has been grown a bit stale. I'm ready for a new challenge. And I look at the camera at this moment, and my theme is playing, but with an ominous undertone. Sorry.
Are you processing your feelings out loud?
Oh, yes, I am. I am so much, yes.
Right.
Because I have been going through so much, and this feels like it could be the start of something vigorous and new, a challenge that is worthy of Anselmo de la Vega.
I personally am rooting for Anselmo in this moment.
Cool. And how about you, Abe?
Yeah, I'll throw down. Absolutely. As the grandfather at home, I'm totally rooting for Anselmo.
Thank you. Kyle, what about you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, and Will?
No, I'm the kid who's like caught up on the series, and you're like weren't the main character at the point I started watching, and I'm just like, this guy is such a douchebag. Like, he's so pompous and arrogant. Like, why do they keep bringing him back?
No, I'm rooting for that kitty, but I will roll with +3 anyway. So let me find the dice roller here. Yeah. And it's an 8, so that's fine.
On a hit, choose one and take one ongoing while following up on the information.
Tells you how you might the audience tells you how you might find love with a partner of their choosing. The audience tells you how to get blank to blank. Ooh, I think yeah, I wonder how would I get Bobby to do a takedown of Roberta in front of Margarita. Because, I mean, that's far more interesting than, oh, damn, I'm falling into old patterns, right? Oh, well, that's what the audience loves. So, how would I go about that? What specific thing need I only mention and the two of them will just erupt into aggression?
What Roberta did to Abigail.
Oh, yes, definitely. Good point, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To be defined.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll see, yes. Cool. Okay, cool. So, and then I will turn to Margarita and say, what do you hope? What are your hopes in this endeavor?
I just want to see these night floors. I mean, if they are what I'm guessing, it's magic and fun, and it comes with the dog, so it can't be all bad.
I must warn you that the picture I saw of the drawing of that drowned child, and the information that this house was built by a child murderer, I do not want to put a dampener on your enthusiasm, dear Margarita, but I love your optimism. I do. But be prepared that it might not bear out. I don't know what move I'm doing here.
What I mean, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve?
I don't know. Right? I mean, it's kind of express your love passionately, but I'm not trying to seduce her. I'm feeling more, I mean, I'm an older guy and she's younger, so maybe I have more paternalistic feelings towards her, and maybe I wanted her to open up to me.
I think that's still expressing your love. This is a different.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess either that or demand what you deserve.
No, that's more of an expression where the target gets a kind of a choice. So I'm expressing my love passionately, and I'm rolling I'm not dressed to impress. Hello, I'm in my FBI outfit. Of course I'm dressed to impress. What's that kind? Do they believe that you are single? Do you believe that I'm a single?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. I will have you know that Anselmo himself is not quite sure about his marital or other status, but fine. You believe that he's single? Fine. And he's taking control of the situation, obviously. I think you would agree, right? So, yeah, let's see. Give me a sec. So, roll the dice. Oh, wow, it's a 5. Yes. I mean, sorry. I love that he failed this one.
So Margarita, you like sense that that Anselmo is like trying to forge this emotional connection with you in this moment. How does that, like, what's your reaction?
I haven't liked him. He's been vaguely creepy for a while, and I mean, I work for Delta Green now, not him directly. I think I'm. You know what? I think I've had enough of it. Like, Anselmo, you are not my boyfriend, and you are not my father. and I do not need your advice, so keep it to yourself.
Woo!
Is that a demand what you deserve, or is that a strikeout with voice?
I think I'm striking out with my voice.
Yeah.
Feels like you're striking out with your voice.
Um,
And I will take a condition from that miss, because I feel that is kind
Sure.
of crushing, that he failed to connect. And then she's striking out, yeah.
yeah.
So he feels, what does he feel like? I think he doesn't feel lustful. He feels righteous, I think. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I will add
okay.
a T to this word. I cannot.
So, Margarita, have you caught them off guard?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh yeah. I did not expect that at all.
And I think they have just wronged you.
Fair
and what's
enough.
your...
Am I in over my head? I am in a magic building waiting for... Yeah.
Yes, you are. We all are.
Yeah.
So that's a +3, and I got an 8.
Nice.
An 8. Nice. So, I think that means that your strike lands and you each mark a condition. So, Anselmo, what in addition to, what was it, righteous? What else are you feeling?
I'm feeling raging. This I don't deserve this. I was trying to help her, and all that. I will draw myself up, and my face will grow cold and stony, and say, "Well, thank you for making your point of view clear, Margarita." Or I would have said, "Senorita," whatever your last name is. I don't know.
And what condition is Margarita going to mark?
I'm marking cornered. Because I did not mean to go off quite that much, and we still have to work together.
All right. So it has now gotten dark. The sun has gone down. It's nighttime. Bobby and Roberta, you were up on the roof. You saw the sun go down. What do you do now? It's probably a moment of tense quiet between you, I imagine.
Yeah, after I've, with arms crossed, both of us looking in different directions over the thing.
Totally.
And then I look back and I just go, "You're an asshole," and then walk down the stairs.
All right. Roberta, do you stay on the roof or are you going to follow?
How do you say "it takes one to know one" in Spanish? And
which would, I guess, put us on the second floor?
Yeah, you'll come down from the roof onto the second floor.
I'm going to go see if I can find this night manager.
Okay.
You do whatever it is that you do, Roberta, but do it a long way away from me, right?
All right, I'll head the other. I'll case the joint, but I will head the other direction.
All right. So, which way is Bobby going to go to try and find the night manager?
I guess I will wander around these floors. I sort of like vaguely look at the thing, and I'm looking for where the arrow goes to Mr. Castaigne. I'm trying to holding this map up and sort of wandering around looking for the night manager.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to me, tell me if you think different. That probably means that you head to that apartment on the first floor in the northeast corner. That's probably the closest to where the arrow to Mr. Castaigne goes.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right, yeah.
Isn't that where the poet is?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And Roberta, you said you kind of go the other way. Does that mean you stay on the second floor? You head all the way downstairs? What do you want to do?
So I'm sorry. So the second floor has got the night. Is that the night floors one?
So on that hand-drawn map, they're actually labeled on the right-hand side: first floor, second floor, and ground floor.
Right. I see that.
Yeah. So the
like,
top
we have,
floor.
it looks like there's a weird tunnel going from the poet's apartment to the roof, to the second floor. Is that wrong?
Yeah, that's what it looks like on the map, but that's not what you've observed in the building.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'll stay up on the second floor and kind of case the joint, walk around, check doors, things like that.
Okay. Cool. And Margarita and Anselmo, are you going to work together now, or are you going to separate and go in different directions? Like what's happening for the two of you?
I think we should separate at that point because she clearly thinks she can do this on her own. And of course, I will come and save her if she needs me to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stride off to somewhere where I think it might be interesting.
So where is that? Where are you heading?
I'm striding off, so we're somewhere on the landing on the first floor, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think I'll go to the apartment on the upper right corner because there seem to be multiple entrances to these night floors, and I'll bang on the door because I need to feel manly now.
All right. So you mean the sort of northeast apartment on the second floor? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Northeast. Confuse me with east. Yes.
So, sorry,
it's
upper left.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
left?
upper right.
No, upper right. Upper right.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm also confused by direction.
Yeah, me too. So but the east is right because Mordor is to the east.
All right.
And if I imagine the map of Middle Earth, yes, my brain works like that.
Yeah, that's cool. And Margarita, what are you going to do as Anselmo sort of storms off?
I am just positioning myself in like a central area with the dog because I am 100% convinced this magic dog will guide me to some I don't know, somewhere good.
Okay. So Anselmo, you like storm up to the second floor, and you're going to run into Roberta up there, like on your way to that door. Do either of you stop to talk, or you're just going to continue storming over there to bang on the door, or what's Anselmo going to do?
Yeah, I'll stop there. Anselmo, are you okay?
Yes, I am very much okay. Thank you for asking, Roberta.
Of course. You seem a bit out of sorts. Is there anything I can help you with? I tried working with my sister, and as you know, she's always impossible. So
that is a very strange trait that I have observed. Oh my God, there's a kitty. That I've observed about your family. Yes. But I'm kind of half smiling when I say that. No, I'm not. I'm raging. I'm not smiling when I say that. I think we should work towards solving this case and find Abigail in whatever thing she managed to land herself in. Do you remember the drug den somewhere on the coast?
do I ever? I mean, who can forget that? What a disaster.
Yes, quite. Oh, was that Abigail? Or no, that was Abigail. That was definitely Abigail. That was not my third wife. Yeah. Well, let's figure out the entrance to these night floors here, and I'll knock on the door.
So there's no answer, and it kind of echoes like the apartment is empty.
Well, in that case, I will. Well, I have thugs, right? I don't need to kick in the door myself. I will ask Romualdo. Romualdo is the strong one. Romualdo, please kick in the door.
Yeah. So he kicks the door open, and you see that it is an empty apartment.
Good.
And he'll kind of confirm, like he'll go around for you. He'll confirm that all the apartments on this floor are vacant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'll just stride into the empty apartment and go looking for whatever entrances there may be. because there seem to be two, right?
Yeah. All right. I will come back to
Mhm.
the two of you. Bobby, as you head down towards the corner apartment on the first floor, you run into Margarita and Evidence. What do you say? Or what do you do?
Oh, hey, Marguerite. Hey, boy. And pat him on the head. Yeah. And it was funny as the cat raised its head as I patted the dog on the head. You find anything, Margarita?
Not yet, but don't distract the dog. I need them to guide me to the magic doors.
Okay. Well, have fun. And I smile and shake my head, and yeah, I'm gonna go straight for that apartment and knock on the
Okay.
door.
So you knock on the door and there's no answer, but the door just kind of swings open as you knock on it. And you see um, a, a very large apartment, bigger than the apartments that you've seen previously. Your first impression is that it seems to be bigger than the available space that it should be occupying, although, of course, that doesn't make any sense. There's a huge open archway in the north wall. There are big kind of, airy rooms. There are vast couches and cushions and things like that. Rooms lined with bookshelves. Margarita, like you're quite close by. Are you looking to see this?
I think so, yeah.
So that is not what you saw when that door opened a few hours ago.
Bobby like whistles and goes like, "Wow, I never knew this. That wow, this is what an artist's apartment's like. God, Abigail must have been crap. Like this is so good. The guy, whoever was here, must have been brilliant." Maybe it's the night manager's apartment.
The room wasn't like this. I think the room is magic. It changed in just a few hours.
Margarita, I worry about you, you know?
We were hired by the government to investigate magic crimes. It's not weird to think there might be magic involved.
Well, the next magic I see will be the first magic I see.
The room is bigger on the inside.
No. I mean, we'll work this. It doesn't matter, right? Okay, let's Mr. Castaigne, hello? Like, go through the...
Yeah. I mean, you think maybe you can hear distant voices through that archway, but nobody replies when you call. You're just going to head on in?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Margarita, what are you going to do?
I'm waiting in the doorway in case... I mean, I'm not barging into someone's home without permission.
I mean, you are an FBI agent, but that's okay.
I still have manners.
Sure. Okay, so Bobby, you head through the archway. You see some more like a long hallway, again lined with bookshelves, with various further archways leading off it in different directions. At this point, you can no longer deny that it's not possible for this room to exist. You should be at this point standing way out over the middle of the street.
Mm. I'm like, what? And I follow the voices deeper in, drawn in deeper and deeper by this.
Mm-hmm. All right. I will come back to you. But Roberta and Anselmo, up on the second floor, you well, I can't quite remember which of you, if any, spoke to Michelle Van Fitz, the science fiction author. Maybe that was just Bobby.
Yeah,
I think it's just Bobby.
But we've met up in between, so I'm happy to have passed on whatever.
Yeah, so you see a woman coming up the stairs to the second floor. It sounds like the person that Bobby described as Michelle Van Fitz, a science fiction author. she's moving like in this kind of exaggerated, almost like cartoon character sneaking way, like really lifting the knees and walking on tiptoes with the hands like held up high near their chest. And she freezes as she sees you, very surprised to see anyone up on the second floor. And she says, hello.
Hello, FBI. May I inquire what you are doing, sneaking in such an obvious manner?
I would hardly say I'm sneaking. I live here. I just wanted to head up to the smoking lounge. It's not a crime, is it?
No, but you were very surreptitious about it. Tell me, what is going on here? And I demand what I deserve.
Okay,
I demand of her that she tells me now, because I am an FBI agent. I will wave my badge into her face.
All right. Are you offering something of value in return?
Well, not really, no. Nope.
They don't. She definitely doesn't love you in this moment.
Are you sure? I'm a very handsome, but I'm taking control of the situation here.
Yes, for sure.
I'm very good at taking control of the situation. Well, yeah. Let's see how that goes. Doesn't go at all because something is frozen here. No. Sorry. It's an 8.
8. So on a hit, the target of your demand chooses 1. So she can concede, refuse an escalate, or run away. And you were demanding that she tells you what's going on, weren't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So she's going to concede. She's going to tell you what's going on, and she's going to say again, "I'm just going up to the smoking lounge. Like, what's the big deal?" Now that you're closer to her, you can tell that she smells like brandy and like there's some candy or something. Her pockets are overstuffed. It looks like she's loaded them up with weird snacks and things like that.
Okay, then you know that smoking is unhealthy.
Well, I'm not smoking myself. I'm just going up for a drink. Would you like to join me? And she looks back and forth between Roberta and Anselmo.
I think maybe later. No, maybe later. I'm actually on duty as an FBI agent.
Oh, of course. And you?
I'll join you. I have some questions I'd like to ask.
Oh, sure. We'll do. Yeah, you want to come with me?
Sure.
All right. So she will lead Roberta back towards the stairs that lead to the roof. You're welcome to ask her any questions that you like as you head up there.
Good point, Bobby.
But otherwise, she'll like lead you right back up the stairs that took you to the roof, just a little while ago. But when you reach the top of the stairs and she opens the door that led to the roof, now you see, you recognize what it is immediately. It clearly is the smoking lounge that she mentioned. It looks kind of like an early 20th century men's club. Very fancy, very nicely appointed. Velvet wallpaper, burgundy leather armchairs. There's a big fireplace crackling away. The temperature is very comfortable. There's a bar, lots of bottles and glasses, olives and citrus fruits and things like that. There's a walk-in humidor with only the finest cigars. There's a big bookcase that has a rolling stepladder attached to it, full of hardcovers and folios and fancy things like that. There is a big guy with a weird sort of old-fashioned toupee, very obvious toupee, leaning against one wall, who kind of smiles at you as you come in and nods in the direction of Michelle. And Bobby, you also are going to see this room. Like as you stumble through the passageways in Michelle's apartment, one of the archways will open onto this smoking lounge as well, and you will glance in and see that your sister is in there with Michelle, and Roberta. You'll see your sister outside as well. Roberta,
so
what do you
like,
do? Okay.
So like I've come through into the following the voices and arrived in roughly the same place as the.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd
Just
like to
entering from
suggest.
different doors.
I'd like to suggest that I'm. Perhaps I see this and, or like just so that there's room for Roberta to use the twin moves for on the people here and pretend to be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you see her in there and kind of duck back out of the way so that nobody sees you.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Roberta, what do you want to do?
I'm looking at my twin moves, and I have Story Spinner, and then I have That Wasn't Me. So I don't know if either of those would really apply here.
I mean,
maybe not then.
Yeah, if you want to switch places with Bobby and have, you have been the one that came up here through the sort of library room, the book room.
All right, yeah.
Bobby be the one who came with Michelle.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I think that'll probably work better because I don't see how they haven't slept together, so that whole thing doesn't seem like it'll make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, we'll flip it. So I'm the one that's snuck behind her.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
right.
Roberta is kind of hiding around the corner. Sorry, Will, what are you going to say?
I'm just going to suggest that it's like a sickening flicker of the edit. Like maybe there's there's a little telltale thing, right, that the audience can tell the difference between Roberta and Bobby, and it's so very similar that all the audience is like, why the hell did they make them so? It's so hard to tell, right? Like a badge maybe on each jacket, and. I think that Roberta perhaps has the FBI badge on the jacket, and Bobby doesn't.
Well, I think maybe Roberta has it on the left side and Bobby has it on the right side.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and Bobby, as it switches, they weren't like that before, and now that move's been played, suddenly there's a moment where it's yeah, Michelle, right? Where did and Bobby just looks confused as hell to suddenly be sat in the smoking lounge with the thing as well, right? But then it quickly fades away to wow. Where did this come from? Such a lovely place.
So I think we'll cut there and we'll leave Bobby just a little confused by the smoking lounge. Anselmo, you were heading downstairs, I think. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to do or somewhere you wanted to go?
I wanted to go into the apartment, the door where we had kicked down the door. And I wanted to look at the walls there to figure out where I could get to the night floors from this place, because there seem to be two ways. There must be something.
Okay.
I trust the map. Whatever I do that, but I trust the map.
All right. And Margarita, you're just going to sort of wait patiently by the door to this room until someone comes to get you? Is that about what your intentions are?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we'll see Margarita, standing by the door, probably affectionately patting evidence, just waiting politely for something to happen. And then the audience first, but then Margarita herself will hear the sound of heavy footsteps approaching from behind Margarita. And we'll see the looming shadow of someone fall over her. And that's where the closing credits for the episode will play.
Nice.
So thanks very much, everyone. I didn't really know how that was going to go, and I'm pretty happy with what happened. I would love to go around for a round of stars and wishes if everyone's happy with that. Maybe just left to right across the character keeper again. If Abe, if you're happy to lead off.
Yeah, sure. Stars. Stars to everyone who showed up. That's like an interestingly, like it's such an interesting experiment, you know, to kind of mash up things that so totally don't like go together. I think it's great. Stars to Sabine, you know, Anselmo is a total self-righteous jerk. Totally love that. Excellent portrayal. Margarita, I like, or Kyle. Sorry, I like how you. I like how you're handling Margarita a lot. It's interesting because like I feel like I haven't really like usually my first session. I always say this. Well, heard me say this many times. My first session is I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. You seem like you've already got a good grasp of where you're going with this, and Will, I've played with a bunch, so your ability to jump right in and, you know, take the bull by the horns is always impressive. As far as wishes, you know, I'm pretty excited just to be along for the ride. You know, there's nothing that I really want to happen that hasn't happened yet. It's just going to be cool and weird to see where it all nets out.
Great, thank you. Kyle? Oh, sorry, I said left to right across the character keeper, didn't I? So, Sabine.
Stars for all of you. I love the whole thing. I love the twins, Bobby and Roberta, sniping at each other, and I love Margarita, and I especially love the moment when she stood up to Anselmo. That was really fun. That was not expected, and Shane, I think this works very well. Actually, it works a lot better than the first look at the concept seems to indicate. It has a very weird and strange vibe, and these characters are all so over the top dramatic. I really like that. So yay. And I'm supposed to do wishes now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wish for more of this ridiculous drama and this weird thing that is happening in this house, and to figure out what's going on, or probably not, but I wish for a meltdown maybe.
Yes.
So that would be nice.
Cool. Thank you. Kyle.
Yeah, I think a lot of the comments been covered. It's really interesting to bring this, you know, telenovela drama into a Cthulhu thing. I want to see, how this all ends. What kind of mistakes I can make going forward. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And Will.
Likewise, I think you know, it's a really brilliant experiment, and I'm enjoying it. I loved Anselmo chewing the scenery, and you know, being so bossy all the time with everybody. I'm really enjoying Marguerite's magic cop, magic doors, just like wholehearted, just like jumping into the whole thing, like earnest belief in it. And I am enjoying the weirdness of the sibling, you know, like having the two characters, and I think it sort of fits with the whole weird atmosphere that we're in as well, you know, and the framing. And like wishes wise, I think I'd like, you know, I'm really looking forward to leaning into the weird, especially like, you know, in meta ways as well, like with like it's a soap opera where weird stuff is happening as well, and then like the double layer of that, like I'm thinking like WandaVision-y type sort of you know, like the inconsistencies in the weird shit that we see, and it's like breaking the narrative of the soap opera as well at the same time, right? And I'd love to lean into that kind of thing as we go forward, like with the twin move, right? Like it actually has like a literal thing as well as a metaphorical, like narrative based movement of switching positions. Yeah, that anything like that kind of stuff as we go along, and you know, because it's going to get weirder from here, guys. And one thing I was thinking is that like the twins' reputations right? Like we should have different reputations to an extent, and I think we've sort of expressed that in the play. And I've just like written down for like I try to make Bobby like quite direct and like assertive and heading things straight on, right? Whereas it feels like Roberta is more kind of like, you know, talking things round and everything, but also kind of like has this sort of like inner toughness and a like aggression as well, you know, that comes out in a more social way than like Roberta's kind of like give me answers punk kind of thing, you know. And I'd like to sort of keep blurring those lines of stuff, you know, as we go along.
Yeah, it's interesting. Twin doesn't really have like El Caballero and El Jefe have like a direct kind of straightforward like focus. And this is the first time I've actually played a character that doesn't have that kind of focus. So I'm kind of like,
So it seems as though like we need to have a, you know, the reputation of the Caballero, right? Is are you using that reputation kind of thing? I guess is like how you'll get that move triggering, I suppose. But yeah, I'm living it because I think this is up there with all of Puckett's crazy Passions de la Passions games.
Yeah, I mean, Puckett obviously was the inspiration for this, the Passions game that he ran. Yeah, so thanks for heaps, everyone. I'm really enjoying this. I'm very excited that you've entered. Some of you have entered the night floors. Like Will said, it's only going to get weirder from here, and I'm really looking forward to that. Just going to end the recording.